Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the conclusion. So let's chew it out. And I didn't do the sit rep because I was out the entire evening. Went for football, didn't get to play much, so kind of pissed off by that. But it was a league match, so yeah. Then anyway, then after that I went to supper with my friend. So yeah, so didn't have time to do the sit rep. So yeah, I have to have a live. Anyway, so there is so this conclusion, because I didn't do the sit rep, there is a lot of things to cover, but I want to focus on, I think, 3 or 4 major battles that is currently happening in the Ukraine war. And this mapping right now, this is a 2-day mapping, right? Because I didn't do a sit rep, so I continue to map it in. I have the latest updates all here. So there's a few major battles that I want to cover. And the first one, of course, we're going to go into the Donetsk front, and it's the situation over at Katerinivka. So for those that are not familiar, okay, so for the benefit of those that are not familiar with the front lines, this is Donetsk city. This is the capital of the Donetsk Oblast, which is one of the two self-declared republics that rebelled against the Ukrainian state. And so this is the capital, Donetsk, and the current what we call the Donetsk front in the DPA's mapping is here. This is the Donetsk front. The rest is also actually part of Donetsk, but we break it up and call it a different name so that we can kind of differentiate one another. And over this area, so just off Konstantinivka, and there is this town of Konstantinivka. So there is the latest geolocation, and this is a very shocking one. The Russian forces basically have entered into Katerinivka. This is the latest mapping, latest geolocation, and this literally invalidates a lot of things. And in the same update, the Russian forces was geolocated north of Konstantinivka as well. This means that the Russian forces have basically captured all of these grounds right now. And this, including with the rest of the previous updates, we have which the Russians have secured the entire lake around here, means that the entire region south and southwest of Konstantinivka is now fully under Russian control. Whatever Ukraine claimed that they have control over here is now fully invalidated. The Russian forces have taken all of this area here, and this begins the battle for Katerinivka. So, and this also, for the first time, we have confirmation of the Russian full capture of Konstantinivka. Previously, we cannot confirm the full capture because, there was no proof for that, despite the declaration by the pro-Russian sources that Konstantinivka is captured by the Russian forces. The Russian Defense Ministry actually did not declare the capture of Konstantinivka. As far as my mapping go, unless I missed it, then too bad. So anyway, so this is the current situation, and the battle have now starting for Katerinivka. So the Russian forces now from this area here, they have entered from down this tree line in the southeast. So I believe that the Russians will attack the industrial zone. Why is my mouse weird? Wait, back. Yeah, I cleaned the mouse pad. So this the mouse is the dirt. No, it's not me. No, I draw nice arrows. No, this is not me. It's the mouse pad. So the Russian forces will be attacking this industrial zone soon, and then they will be attacking in 2 different directions. I also believe that the Russians will attack down the road and create a third line of attack, while another force will continue to go down the river, and then will probably attack from the rear. This is my guess. It's opinion time. It's the conclusions. I can talk whatever I want. So that is the situation. So in the northern flank, with the Russian forces geolocated in the northern buildings, also fully confirmed that Konstantinivka is now fully captured, and so that dispels whatever the Ukrainians are going to say on this region here. So a huge amount of grounds invalidated. This 2, so it's around 8 square kilometers plus this one, yeah, around 10 square kilometers of grounds fallen to the Russians in the mapping, not in reality. We do not know what's the reality. So in the mapping, in just a space of 2 days, 10 square kilometers is lost around just this area here. So so this is one of the major battles. Another major battle that is currently ongoing is at Sukharine over the Pokrovsk front. So this is just off the Pokrovsk front. This is Pokrovsk, where the Russians' prime objective currently is happening, and this is at the southern edge between the Donetsk and the Pokrovsk front. The Russian forces have semi-encircled. Let me clear this correct. It should be like this. Now the Russian forces is now semi-encircling Sukharine, and actually more than semi, is like 3/4. So the Russian forces are now going to attack in multiple directions. In fact, the Russians have already a foothold in the southern part of Sukharine, with the entire southern district is now under Russian control. So the Russians are likely going to storm from more directions from now on, and this doesn't look defendable to me. If you look at, if this is what is currently happening, I think the Russians is going to start to attack through the railway line, and then they're going to storm this direction. Whereas there will be a push coming from the east, likely, as another one push coming from the south, just to drive the Ukrainian out, rather than kill them all. Which is pretty difficult. Is more profitable or more efficient to just drive them out, make the Ukrainians feel like it's hopeless, so they withdraw. Then both sides can have lesser people dying, while the land being exchanged hand. So, this is the current situation at Sukharine. This is only the one half of Sukharine. There's another half that is still untouched. So we shall see how this goes. This is looking like a nose, and then this is the mouth. Yeah, the Russians are biting down. They are the ox. Also, they have spiky teeth. So they're gonna bite down at Sukharine, though, which is actually a type of sushi, if you do not know. So no, I'm just joking. Don't ask the sushi chef for it. So this is the current situation in Sukharine. So this is one. This is the second one, and another one of the major battles that I want to highlight is the situation at where? Let me see. Let me zoom. Let me find. I forgot. There's some updates here. This is the one update. Russian mapping have declared that the entire Sperne region has been secured, like maybe the second time already. So we do not know. The capture of Vimka and Okanyamsky, even the pro-Russian sources, that is Ryba, cannot confirm it because there is no objective evidence of that. So they still reserving their. They do map it in as somewhat captured, especially Vimka, but no, like they are feeling a bit weird that there is no evidence of the capture despite the declarations. So that's one thing to cover. The third major battle is for Kryakivka. So this is the Pischany front. So this is Kupyansk, this is Sviatove, this is around here, south of here, this is Sviatove, this is Kupyansk. So these are the two, the yin and yang, like the yin and yang. And so this is Pischany, and this is the Pischany front, and yes, I know it looks like a lizard. Yeah, so the Russian forces are attacking towards Kryakivka. In the latest frontline changes, the Russian forces has expanded the zone of control. Information is coming from the Ukrainians themselves. So these are Ukrainian mapping, and the Russian forces is now advancing towards Kolesnikivka and Kryakivka at the same time. In fact, arguably that the Russians may have already entered into the first street of Kolesnikivka. Why is it so difficult to pronounce this today? Kolesnikivka, yeah, and they already probably entered already for the first time, and it may be the beginning of the battle for Kolesnikivka. And the distance between the front line and Kryakivka is now less than 1 kilometer, which means that the next bounce, the Russians are going to enter into Kryakivka, and they're going to start the battle. The importance, for those that do not know yet, which I mentioned all the time, is this crossing of the Oskil river. So this river over here, this is the Oskil river. And this river is quite formidable. It's not so easy to cross. So the bridge is very important. It links the Ukrainian positions at Kulyakivka and Senkove. So, and the implications is that if the Russians take Kulyakivka, the road will not be usable. In fact, this road leading up northward towards Kolyakivka is now under fire control. So this is already a big problem, because the Ukrainian forces will not be able to link up the Kupyansk front and the Sviatove front forces or exchange positions so easily anymore. Tentatively, they could potentially still use it, but they will be under severe threat. Once the battle start to enter into Kolyakivka, the Russians would already essentially achieve the logistic disruption that they have wanted between the Kupyansk region and the Sviatove region. And if the Russian forces able to take the crossing at Senkove, Kulyakivka, this will allow the Russians to expand into the western half of the Oskil River, the western bank of the Oskil River, and this will be disaster for the Ukrainian side, because the front line would essentially become way more complicated for the Ukrainians. Tentatively, if you zoom out a bit, the main crossings right now is over at Kupyansk. Can I zoom in a bit more? So okay, we can do this. Okay, the one crossing is at Kupyansk, another crossing at Senkove, another crossing is over at this Borova region. So these are the three main crossings. And if I'm not wrong, there's no more other crossings around here unless they try to pontoon, but I don't think the pontoons works unless it's in the northern area where the river is smaller. The reason is because Oskil, there's a dam in the south. They dam up the water, so the Oskil River towards the south is actually much more thicker. So if the Russians take this crossing, then the Ukrainians their logistics between the two fronts is gonna be a lot longer, way longer. And if we're just looking at the major roads, then let's see how big is this. No, it's going to be like a additional maybe 60 kilometers. This 60 kilometers route, rather than they can go through the center, which is probably, let's see, 30 kilometers. So it's like twice as long. So it's a double the time of the travel time. So this is the main thing. And if the Russians start to break through into this area, then the front line will become extremely complicated for the Ukrainians, because now the Ukrainians will have to create a new force to defend this part of, which we'll probably call it the Senkove front or something. So then this will become a totally new front, which means the Ukrainians need to invest even more forces into this region to defend. So yeah, ultimately, this is one big battle that I'm looking forward to. So so it was something that really will spice up the entire region. The soldiers of course will suffer. You and me, we will just enjoy it. Unfortunately, this has become a football game, or like a soccer, basketball. So anyway, let's hope that we have some conclusions to the war. Although this is the conclusion, but this is not the conclusion of the war. More to come, I guess. There's one more battle. I feel like I missed out something. Sukurini, and then we have Katerinivka. Do we have something else? Did I miss something? Yeah, I think maybe it's this part that I wanted to talk about. So, and just some updates for those that are really interested in the Kursk region. So the Russian forces. Oh, I didn't update the latest Kursk update. Did I? So, maybe it's covered. I don't know. So anyway, the Russian forces are fighting in the region of Vasiloe. And I haven't updated the Russian Defense Ministry's report, so I don't have the information there. So, but the Ukrainians, but the mapping is correct. The mapping is the latest. The Russian sources did say that the rumors of the withdrawal at Medvedze is now no evidence for that. And I did tell you, right? No, every time this kind of rumors, is always inaccurate coming from Ryba. Like their firm information is correct. mostly. When it comes to this kind of rumors always fail. They never come to fruition. So no, they really need to drop their whatever rumor seller that they have. The Ukrainians are still battling around this area in the Novi Put, Pokrovsk, and Veseloye region. And this position is just being held, and probably this is what it is. The Russians definitely is still pushing over in this area in the western flank, and then they're also pushing in the southern flank. Ukrainians are pushing a little bit in the north, and generally this is the Kursk situation in the nutshell. Nothing special is currently happening, and now it reached a point where I have my doubts if the Russians actually is serious about their counteroffensive. Like, they counterattack in this Snagorsk region. Yes, they captured back a lot of ground. Yes, but it's like they are just doing that so that they can secure a defensive position that they like, and then they just gotta sit back and enjoy the show. Like this, like as if this is basically the same as the rest of the front line now. Like, this counterattack was just to secure this area, and that's it. Then they're gonna stick to this point like for unknown period of time. The other situation is they really wanted Blakovo. The reason is because there is a lot of rivers around here, and if you look at the river system around here, it's super complicated. This is the river system, the Svel River, and then this is the border. This is the border between Russia and Ukraine. So let's draw it this way. So the Russians will definitely want Blakovo so that they can actually put a defensive line along the river and along the border, fully reclaiming this area here, this entire region. So this entire region will be secured, and then they can actually play the long game. I think this is the main objective right now, which is why the Russians are they are trying to go for Blakovo in a more serious way. The rest of the front line, it looks like the Russians are just very happy to keep them there. And there are some rumors, not rumors, but there's some opinions. During the DPA open mic, we discussed about the situation. Some have commented that the Kursk front is a godsend to the Russians. Diplomatically, the Russians can now accuse Ukrainians of what they do. Of what the Russians themselves do. They are the bad guy. They come to our land, and try to risk a nuclear war or whatnot. I'm not sure. The kind of logic where basically now Ukraine and Russia is basically it can be cast in the same stone because both of them incurred into each other's sovereign territory. In that kind of logic. So. Of course, I don't buy it personally because it makes no sense. I think the Ukrainians have not much choice. Bringing the war to the Russians makes perfect sense. But of course, the Russians would just milk it. No. And of course, the target audience is not the Western crowd. It's actually the people from the global South and the people from the East. And maybe it works. No, they are targeting the Africans, the South Americans, the Asian side of people. So maybe it might work. But of course, it's just all politics. It's just all words. Everything is just just excuses to do more things. So the Russians definitely doesn't look very serious about their Kursk counteroffensive. So I'm wrong again, because I thought that they would be serious about it. But no, it's really hard to predict what the Russians do because they always have a game behind a game behind another game. So anyway, these are the conclusions. Of course, I'm not going to cover every single front line, right? Because these are the conclusions. We cover the major things and some of my opinions about certain things. And yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you. And press the like button, subscribe. See you in the Frontline Changes report. And I'll see you guys in the next update.